everybody. I first want to show you how the kittens are doing, and that would be Sylvester and Bramble. I've got something pretty amazing to share with you guys, and I don't really know what to take out of it. But first, I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna show you. It's Rocky time. I'm gonna show you guys how well the kittens are doing, how well they're adapting, and then I'm gonna show you the special surprise. All right, y'all. Is this not the cutest sight ever? Well, of course they can't be still, but just for a second. But Sylvester and Bramble are now best friends, and you will find them both cuddled up together or playing together or doing their business together. They do everything together. So just a little update. Are you sleepy, Sylvester? Yes. But just a little update on the kitties to let everybody know that they get along just perfectly, and I'm so glad I decided to get another one. So I'm on my way to the aviary, and before I get there, I thought I would update you guys on the trap situation. If you saw the video where Miss Catherine from G&G Farm came over because we had caught a coyote on a camera, a game camera that's on the edge of our property, we had her come over, and her expertise told us to set out a humane trap, which we did. And it's been a couple of weeks now since we did that, and nothing's happened. So that tells me that the coyote was probably just a passerby, and we're not going to have any issues. If we do, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but so far, no activity. And as of right now, until the barn's completely finished, my boys, Rocky and Bandit, they are still sleeping in the area where the Victorian crown pigeons are, in the aviary area. And a lot of people ask, well, why do you need to set out the traps if you've got those livestock guardian dogs? Well, y'all, they're just puppies. They're 6 months old, and they are kind of like they're in training. Yes, their instincts would tell them to run something off, but until they are familiar with the property and being at the barn at night, I don't want to let these guys loose. So for now, I'm still putting them up every night just for my safety more so than anything. I just want these boys to be safe until they're a little bit older and until they're neutered. They'll be neutered once they're 9 months of age, and until that time, I'll continue to keep them confined at night. All right, here I am. Guess where? In the aviary. And no, the Victorian crown pigeons have not laid an egg. What has happened is the Victorian crown pigeons want to make a new nest. It's been a while back. Marycarl and I decided to add some new scenery to the aviary that consisted of sticks and a swing and some different branches. Lo and behold, the Victorians are trying to build a new nest. Y'all see that piece of cedar right there? They put that up there. Do y'all see these sticks on the ground? They tried to put those up there. They didn't succeed. So I don't have any idea why they would want to build another nest. But obviously, they want it to be out in the open. Now, Marycarl and I have discussed this, and she thinks that in the wild, they would nest without a cover. And she's right. In the wild, there wouldn't be any canopy like it is on top of where they previously built. There would be open sky. There would be access to wind. There would be access to rain, to sunlight, to anything their heart desires as far as a native environment. So, Marycarl proposes that we take a piece of hardware cloth and we try to form it to make them a foundation for them to build a nest where they have picked. And that is up in the air on one of these sticks. So I'm going to try to get a piece of hardware cloth and conform it to a shape that I think will hold materials that they can build a nest with. Here is the previous nest. Quite elaborate, isn't it? And what we did was we just took some untreated 2x6s and we put hardware cloth on the bottom of it. Well, my concern to Marycarl was, what about their toes getting hung up in it? And she said, well, Mama, that nest that they built in is already hardware cloth, so we don't have to worry about that. All they need is something that they can use for stability to start adding their nesting materials. And I know you guys are thinking, here we go again, but I don't know what else to do. I mean, they want to build another nest. They can't escape this aviary to get out and go gather materials, and I'm gonna help them. So here we go. We have a plan, and that is to take this piece of hardware cloth. I'm gonna show you. Carl and I have a piece of hardware cloth. Kind of hold it up there, Marycarl, and show what you propose that we do. It's not gonna be nearly this big, but we're gonna cut it and kind of form it around these sticks, this pole, and kind of make a, not really a basket, but just kind of a platform, I guess you would, a bowl. Okay, a bowl. And hopefully that'll provide enough support to keep their, look over here, Marycarl.
This is where they want to nest. They do not want to nest under the cover, and in the wild they obviously do not have shelters.
That's what I said earlier.
They are not domesticated. They live in the wild, and
they want sunshine. Right. They want rainfall. They want the elements.
Look at that.
I mean,
and I've seen them deconstruct some of that nest to put it up here.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. So deconstructing that nest to start building over here is a sure sign that they don't want it where it is.
And
all right.
They can't exactly make a new nest platform and put it on that tree because they don't want that here. They want it here.
That's right. So we can't put a platform up there because it wouldn't support it. But it's you can see I'm pulling on it. It's not hardly bending. Now, they're not going to put a lot of heavy material. Most everything that we put in there is going to be dried. Well, that we put in here will be dried wood, so to speak. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And it doesn't weigh very much. So first thing I'm going to do is try to get started forming this bowl nest platform, and see how it turns out. I don't know what it's going to turn out like myself, but we'll see. I think we've decided to use zip ties because we know we can get that around these limbs. We know we can make it stay. So that's going to be our first option, is try to use zip ties to make it stay up here. All right, so we have zip ties, and now we're just gonna start trying to conform this bowl.
I want to do it like right here.
All right, you just kind of hold up your side and show me where you think I would put it, and I'll do the zip tie. And we can always trim it.
I want to get it on there.
Okay. Sure. And then we'll come up and fold those sides over.
Right.
How much side do you think it needs?
I don't want to get this much side, just around there.
All right.
I can put it right there. Is that a ring neck? Mm-hmm. Well, this is not for you. So Marycarl just said that the birds at Discovery Cove, their nests are out in the wide open. We do have all the sharp edges bent inward, so there's no threat
anything getting harmed. Hey, I'd nest here. I don't think it would hold me, but. And as for an egg rolling out, you don't have to worry about that
because they're gonna put sticks in it.
And they're gonna build the sides up the way they want it.
Right.
And that's kind of like for them to decide if they think that there's potential for the egg to roll out, they're not gonna do it. All right, so I don't know if you can see from here, but that's the male. And the nest is literally right there. So he's already trying to check it out. That was quick. We hadn't even left yet. Marycarl just told me she thought that they were going to try to check it out tonight. And she was very right. So it didn't take long for the female to join him. And they're both checking out the nesting area. We might be on to something. I want y'all to look at Jessie and look behind her. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the little baby goat spends just as much time with Jessie as it does its mama. And Jessie has to come and visit. And I bet that means a baby visit too. Hey Jessie! Hey baby! Are you taking care of the baby? Oh, we got a little hop going on over there. Look at there. Come here, you can come. Jessie, you are so sweet. Yes. And you're such a good babysitter. Yes, you are. We fixing to go gather some sticks for these birds to see if they'll build a new nest. What do you think? Uh-oh. Baby thinks that's a good idea. That would be Capri Sun. That's what his name is. And he doesn't cry hardly at all, but he's obviously getting a little bit hungry. And babysitter Jessie does not produce milk, so he's gonna go over and have a visit with Mom to get him a little drink before he goes back to Jessie. All right, Jessie. You hold things down, baby, while we go gather some sticks, okay? Sweet girl. Marycarl just let her pigeons out this evening, and she feeds them, and then she lets them out, and it's a beautiful sight. What you gonna do?
Gonna go back to the trap door.
She's trying to teach this one to use the trap door, and she just kind of tossed it up there. How long does it take him to go in? And you see all these just landed on the roof. Look at him. Once they start using it, he'll use it, won't he?
Yeah. He's been going in there just sitting.
They're so pretty, Marycarl. Look at them all lined up.
They've grown in numbers, haven't they?
Dramatically. You got quite a few, and this is only just a drop in the bucket of what's inside the loft.
That one has a sibling that's gonna come out too.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Well, the scenery is a little bit different this time than it was when we gathered last time. We got an actual barn being built. Well, it's almost finished. I shouldn't say being built. But you can see across the property is where that cedar tree is, where we gathered from back during the spring, and we're gonna start there. All right, so we have arrived at the cedar tree, and we're just gonna cut some branches about the size we think that they liked last time, and use this feed bag, try to get it filled up some. They like sticks too, don't they?
They do like to.
We didn't bring very good clippers. We bought something to cut hardware cloth with. You think just start with all cedar and see what they do?
We'll get some other stuff too.
We couldn't do this without the help from some boys. Rocky and Bandit, come on, grab your clippers. All right, so we got a feed sack that's got a lot of, well, I would call it debris but it's got a lot of sticks and greenery in it. And we're gonna take this over there and set it out for them and see what happens. The bad thing is that the camera is over here and I won't be able to look at the camera and see if they're building over here. Maybe we'll try to work something out where we can, it's just that it's wired and I don't want to run wires across the ground. So I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when we get there. First they got to start building. And Marycarl has kind of scattered the sticks and greenery around, and she put the piece that they had tried to put where they wanted it in the nest, and they've already been checking it out. So you know, it just may happen that they might start constructing on it fairly quickly, or maybe not. Who knows? I'm hoping for an egg this year, but it's not my egg, so not my decision. If you were to be a new viewer, the one in the back with the pink band, it's a pinkish orange color, that is the female. And the one in the front with the silver band is the male. And he is a little bit smaller than her. Not much. Beautiful, beautiful birds. They love each other, there's no doubt about that. They groom each other. They sleep beside each other. I think it's obvious that they're a mated pair. It's just the time hadn't been right.
It's a classical Friel pigeon.
Classic old Friel. And this is one that you're pretty proud of.
She is the daughter of a bird that won first place at a bud. I don't know, there's probably 30 plus classical Friels.
So she's the offspring of the...
Charlie.
That's the male that won the show.
And her mom is Kosa. And Kosa isn't as perfect as Charlie, but it's okay.
Oh, you are so beautiful. How old is she?
I would say she's probably around 4 months old now.
Wow, look at
Pretty
those.
pigeon.
Look at that beautiful pattern. What do you call that?
This is called satinet.
Satinet.
Satinet, bluette.
I love that little whoop-de-doo on the back of
The
her.
crest.
Is that what it's called?
Yep, it's got a crest. And then she's got grouse muffs, which classical Friels have grouse muffs and not like feathered feet, because different pigeons have different muffs or feathered feet. And grouse muffs are really my favorite because they don't break.
So grouse
look
muffs
nice.
are not they're not nearly as big as, like I say, a fantail's feet.
Right.
So they're just a little added feathering to the feet.
Little boots.
Little boots versus those big old fancy feathers on, say, a fantail.
Right.
And they get so nasty on
And
the
they
fantail.
break all the
And they
time.
break and they bleed. And boy, do you have a name yet?
She doesn't have a name yet.
She doesn't have a name. All right, stay tuned and maybe you'll find out what this girl's name is. She's a beautiful classic old Friel.